Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Santa's favorite stop, Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm of Clare. Come see and pet real reindeer. Visit the gift shop, get your picture taken in Santa's sleigh. Fun for the whole family. 'Tis the season, open weekends, now through December 21st. Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm, Clare. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. This week in Michigan Magazine, we continue our visit with Michigan author Barbara Yoder of Chase, Michigan. Barbara shares with us some of the misconceptions of an Amish lifestyle and the challenge she and her husband, along with their children, still face in maintaining a family connection with those still in the strict order. But first, we take you on a cruise to Charity Island in Saginaw Bay, where we explore the history of the island and the historic 1857 lighthouse. Then enjoy a delicious meal on the veranda of the Keeper's Quarters. It's all coming up next here on Michigan Magazine. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent Traffic Stop Diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Introducing the Weed Gator. For safe and easy aquatic weed removal, the Weed Gator is the #1 alternative to harsh chemicals for getting rid of pond and lake weeds. Safe and effective. See it in action now at weedgator.net. Made in the USA.
We're at beautiful All Grays, Michigan, and I'm with Bob Wiltsey. Nice to meet you, Bob.
Nice meeting you.
I guess we met some time ago, but it's nice to be reacquainted.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And this is your lovely wife, Karen Wiltsey.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. We're here because of, there's a gentleman here we've got to introduce, because if it wasn't for, get over here, Doug. If it wasn't for Doug Boley, we wouldn't be here. Doug has informed us on your ventures and what you're doing over here at Charity Island with your cruise, the North Star. And so that's why we're here. And Doug, I'd like to say thanks so much
You're more than welcome.
for the introduction and getting us back over here at All Grays. And we're going to find out more about what Bob Wiltsey and Karen Wiltsey have been doing over the last few years with Charity Islands. Now, Charity Island, all of us folks out here in Michigan know where Charity Island's at. Not many of us have had a chance to visit it, but what Bob and Karen have done, have put together this cruise boat, and they have dinner cruises, entertainment. Tell us a little bit about what you have out there.
Well, we first of all, we take about a 1-hour ride out to Charity Island. And when we get out there, we're going to give a history presentation to our guests.
Okay.
And then we're going to take them up to the lightkeeper's house that was built in 1857. And we're going to serve them a dinner around the house on the wraparound porch, and then give everyone a tour of the house after.
Okay, so we're in for a rich history lesson today. A wonderful cruise that the weather could not be any nicer. This is the cruise boat.
This is the cruise boat,
North Star. North Star. How'd you get the name North Star?
Well, the name came with the boat when we purchased it.
Okay.
It was a passenger ferry boat for many, many years up in Sheboygan, and ran a ferry operation from Sheboygan out to Bois Blanc Island.
Okay. Bob and Karen, give us some kind of background to yourself, and then run into the story that we're doing out here on all the different regulations that you had to meet before you could even move a pebble out there in the Charity Islands.
Sure. Well, first of all, 1989, my wife and I were in the real estate business. We're both licensed brokers, and we heard that the big Charity Island was for sale. We did some investigating, and after looking at it, we decided to make an offer to buy Big Charity Island, subject to us getting a permit to build a marina out there. Our plans were, Del, to create 24 exclusive building sites, and each building site would have a boat slip in the boat basin. Mm-hmm. So then it began a 2.5-year job to get the permits from the federal government and from the state of Michigan. And there were a lot of hoops to jump through. We had to do a complete survey of plants and animals on Big Charity Island. It turns out we have several endangered species out there, including bald eagles and a plant called the pitcher's thistle. Turns out that the island sits on a limestone bedrock that's heavily embedded with flint. So the island's been used for at least the last 2,000 years by early native inhabitants of this area for the tool-making material that was out there. So we ended up having 7 archaeologists work out there for over 30 days to complete the mitigation work that was required by the state of Michigan.
My goodness.
The light was built in 1857. Interesting enough, Charity Island was part of the state of Michigan at the time. The federal government took possession of it, built the tower in 1857, but the island itself was not formally acquired by the federal government until 1865 with an executive order signed by Abraham Lincoln 30 days before he was assassinated.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. Now the light itself, when we go out there, Karen, can you tell us a little bit about the domestic living up there?
Well, it's pretty much just like living at home, but it's a lot harder. There, you have to do a lot more. Water is a big problem, and because we draw our water out of the lake, so when you have the algae blossom, it's very difficult to constantly have to change filters. But outside of that, we pretty much live just like you do here, except coming into town. I mean, if you forget something, you're pretty much until the next trip in.
It's either the boat or it's a snow machine,
It's the boat or a hovercraft. We've got a hovercraft in the wintertime, but I personally have not yet made it out there.
Yeah. Do you spend much time on the island? Do you live there full time, or is it just kind of, you know?
Pretty much, we're out there the minute the ice goes out of the bay. And we spend a lot more time April, May, and June, and then by late June we're into our dinner cruise operation, and that requires us to come off the island on a more regular basis. But we occupy the home all the way through till there's a danger of the bay starting to freeze up, and then we put our boats away and find something else to do.
Okay. Now the people who will be coming aboard today, they come on, how many you got coming on? You got a full load? Or?
We got a full load. We're licensed for 49 people on this boat, and we're full to capacity tonight.
Okay.
And they'll get a 1-hour ride out to Charity Island. They'll get a 30-minute history lesson on the island and the light tower. And then it'll be an 8-minute walk from the marina up to the lightkeeper's house, where we'll serve dinner right on the porch of the lightkeeper's home this afternoon.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. What has been the most difficult time in this process of acquiring the rights to do what you wanted to do with the property and the light to start with?
Well, actually, I found it a great adventure, and it was very exciting to do endangered species research out there, to do the archaeological work. The tough part was when we decided not to go ahead with the real estate development project, because the federal government had expressed a strong interest in preserving the island as a wildlife sanctuary. So waiting for the 3 years it took for them to come up with the funding to turn that into a sanctuary was a tough 3 years, but well worth it now that we've got the island protected.
So the most rewarding would be?
This today, meeting friends, making new friends rather, and meeting a lot of new people, and the dinner cruise is just very satisfying for us to do this.
We feel like we have a party just about three nights a week with new people that we meet, and there's so many interesting people out there, and they have so many stories, and we really enjoy meeting everybody that comes out and have a really nice time.
And our biggest part of our clientele so far has been the 60 to 55 age group, and for this area to have, we're so unique. And we get a lot of feedback that they're just delighted to have something like this in our area, and that we find that very satisfying.
Right.
A big part of those people are people who have lived here on the bay and have seen Charity Island their whole lives and never been able to get over there. If you don't have a boat or have friends that own a boat, there was never a way for you to get there. But now we provide a way for them to go visit it, and we've had a lot of people that say, gosh, I've always looked at it from afar but never been able to see it, and they're just really grateful that they have an opportunity to do that.
Everybody gets their boarding pass up at the Northport Travel Center.
Okay.
And they're handed the menu, and they make their menu selection, whether it be sirloin tips or Great Lakes perch. And then the cook's loaded up into the coolers. The passengers are on board. The boat takes off. We've got the dinner in the coolers. And the captain then radios ahead to the Charity Island Lighthouse and tells us that, for instance, Smith, party of 4, will have 3 orders of perch and 1 order of tip, and then we're going to assign a table number 4. So when you get to the lighthouse, your table is set up, your name is on it, and we encourage you to feel right at home and welcome up there, and we do a very good job at it.
Well, on that note, I'll tell you what, Karen and Bob, it has been a pleasure for this guy to come over here to beautiful All-Gray, Michigan.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Del.
you.
We're delighted to have you as guests tonight.
Yes, it'll
Thank
be
you.
our pleasure for sure.
Thank you.
Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by Flu Season. Be prepared. Get your immunizations now at Rose City Drug, your one-stop pharmacy, home health care, and medical supply outlet, offering a variety of on-site immunizations. Walk-ins are of course welcome. Call now for more information. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. Finding the Way by Michigan author Barbara Yoder transports its readers into the life of the Amish. In a previous edition of Michigan Magazine, we visited with Barbara, who drew from her childhood as the youngest of a strict Amish family to bring Finding the Way to print. It's a wonderful work of fiction about growing up as an Amish child. Barbara found herself writing the book with the support and encouragement of her husband, Eugene, after both Eugene and she made that traumatic decision to leave their Amish families. It's been over a decade since the Yoders left the strict order and are now coming to be more at peace with their decision. Eugene has created a thriving construction business called Yoder's Log Homes, and Barbara finds herself being, besides a full-time mother, an author she comfortably fits into her schedule, with the aid of a home office, with her sights set on a sequel to Finding the Way. Is there certain things that you do miss about being part of the Amish community, the strict Amish community?
Oh yeah, yeah. A couple weeks ago, I read this book again, going over it, and it pulled at my heartstrings. Again, just a lot of the good memories I have of when I was younger, and I miss family. There's family that I don't get to see because of the shunning. I have family that I can't see except possibly at a funeral that we might arrive at the same time. And they're always glad to see us, but they're still, because of their rules, they're pretty inhibited, you know. They're not free to just really talk to us, and I know that it causes them pain too. But just sometimes we tell our kids about how we used to get up in the mornings and go out and chore, milk cows, and I miss the not having horses around sometimes. I wish that my kids could have the experience that we had, because I think the discipline of that daily routine that we had going out and doing chores is very good for kids. And so I wish our kids had that. That I do miss a lot.
Can you recall the moment or the time that you had reservations about continuing in the faith, or what pulled you in the other direction? What was the turning point, or was it a progression of subtle things perhaps, or was it a dramatic change?
Well, at the moment we made the change, it was kind of a dramatic change, I guess, but I think it was kind of a lot of little things. What really drew us was a lot of the communities in themselves don't associate with other communities, because this community might allow more liberal, modern conveniences, and then they will choose not to associate with each other because some of them decide, well, no, we want to keep the traditions stricter, because they see a trend coming in that they're fearful of that. So they will decide, no, we won't associate with this church if they're going to allow all these modern conveniences, even though to us now it seems trivial. But between the church that my husband came from in Montana and the church that I came from in Michigan, there was that difference that we couldn't really associate back and forth. So when we went to go get married, it was making a choice of, can we associate with your family or my family? And then we were, at the age where we began to be kind of rebellious against all the rules of how come I can pay my neighbor over here this much to take me to town and I can use his phone, why can't I just have my own? It just began to seem, like now, we just kind of, we kind of began to question that. And then some of the spiritual things that they believed in, we thought that we didn't totally agree with either. And so we decided to seek out is there a way that we can lead a good moral Christian life outside of this? And we feel that we have found that. But it's hard to make that choice. It's very hard because you have to give up your family and everything, at least for the moment you do.
Right. How about your children? What are you bringing from your faith to your children? Do they attend public school? Or are they homeschooled? Or
they go to a charter school.
Okay.
And actually, this is the first year I've put them in school. I've always homeschooled up until this year. We also try to teach them the things that our parents taught us. Probably a lot of the Bible stories that my mom used to tell me, or a lot of the little stories. Probably we try to have things for our kids to do to give them good work ethic, like what our parents tried to teach us. Probably a lot of the discipline, the way that we were taught to, there were times when we just had to sit quiet and read a book and things like that. We teach our children that too. We're limited on what they're allowed to watch on TV or how much TV they're allowed to watch. And we like them to get involved with going out and playing and using their imagination like we had to, which sometimes was good or bad, maybe.
Well, tell us a little bit about the sequel. Is Elizabeth going to be the central character again? Or?
Yes.
Okay, can you give us any tips or clues of what's going to be happening then? Or?
Probably, again, patterning somewhat after my own life, really what it was actually like to step outside of the faith and leave the Amish, what it was like maybe to drive your car the first time and things like that, things that I experienced that I think would probably be interesting to other people to know what it was like. Because you feel like a fish out of water when you leave. You know you can't really go back anymore, but I didn't fit in where I was at either. And so it took a long time because you're in that little world. And the outside world is very different from what we were used to. And so I think that might be interesting for people to know what it's like to leave that. And in some cases, there are some family members that will not ever accept you the way you are. But I think the majority of them do accept you, or that's how we have found it. And so, but there's good and bad that goes along with it.
Sure. Clemick Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemick Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemick's on Mapes Road, Mile. Announcing the Michigan Paddle Sports Directory, your one-stop internet connection at MichiganPaddlesports.com. It's now possible to explore Michigan's extensive waterways like never before. Michigan Paddle Sports Directory is a comprehensive directory of canoe and kayak rentals and liveries throughout the entire state of Michigan. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, you'll find a great paddling route, outfitter, store, school, rental shop, or tour guide. Michigan's great waterways are waiting for you. Make it an adventure worth remembering by first visiting MichiganPaddlesports.com. Hingeman Acres Canoe Livery and Resort on M33 just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. Thanks for joining us along Michigan's back roads. For more information on today's show, visit our information line at thespiritofmichigan.com. You can also find links and information on other interesting people, places, and events that are pure Michigan. Here's today's Secret Words of the Week. 'Tis the season. Send it to us via email or snail mail for a chance to win some great prizes, including meals at the historic Cedar Tavern and Grill in Lupton. Don't forget to include your name and complete physical address so we can get those winnings to you as soon as possible. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Experience the beauty, artistry, and taste of northern Michigan. Come to Amish Country Natural Products on Mount Tom Road, north of Mile, just off M33. From arts and crafts to fresh foods and vegetables, all natural, all local, all good. Stop by and get acquainted with Amish Country Natural Products, 1454 North Mount Tom Road, Mile. Something special's cooking, hot and delicious. Indulge yourself at Morning at Maggie's in Bay City. Omelets, frittatas, hotcakes, and more. Make every day special with a stop at Morning at Maggie's for breakfast or lunch on Saginaw in Bay City. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery.